Album Review, the podcast where four totally unqualified guys review a different album every week in the hope of broadening our knowledge of music. However, we are easily swayed off topic and have no real idea what we are talking about. Today's album is Biffy Clyro, Opposites.
Is it weird that it's been so long that I don't even know how to start my intro? I'm like, how do I start talking about an album again?
You usually just ramble anyway, so...
Don't we all just ramble about shit?
This is true.
I'm trying to think.
We usually bring up some side topic,
Yeah.
completely unrelated to
Have you
album.
ever seen
something that's not related.
Kong versus Godzilla?
Did you know that it's in Warzone now?
I didn't.
Oh, God.
It looks so
I didn't.
bad.
That sounds really funny.
Oh, yeah, it's so bad.
Is it good?
No.
Because you keep saying it's bad, but is it like so bad it's good, or is it?
I think it looks so bad that it's good.
I've seen people literally call in Kong as an airstrike, and he just throws a fucking rock at people. It's so stupid.
How has Call of Duty got to this level? I suppose I say that. We wonder how has COD got to that level. But they're on what, COD 15 now or 16?
I don't know.
They couldn't keep. Bear in mind, like what we think is maybe like the best ones is like Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 2, whatever. They were still like sub 10 in the number of CODs. So you think they can't just keep remaking the same COD every time?
I know they've got to do something different, but the thing is, they do this thing
turning
now.
point?
The thing is, what they do now, it's all this like. I'll tell you what the turning point is. It's when it became this like live support for the games. They used to just bring out the game and they'd bring out a couple of maps every couple of months, and that used to be it. Now there's battle passes, and they had all this unrealistic shit.
I think it was Fortnite.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Changed
totally.
Damn you, Fortnite!
Because when Fortnite had the Game Pass model, suddenly every game now has the game.
Everything has Fortnite.
I think because everything just becomes like really childish now, doesn't it? Like after the 6-month mark of a COD coming out, you come in and everyone's like multicolored army clothes and shit. It looks really weird.
The best point of COD is when it releases that first month.
Yeah, totally. I agree.
The best point in COD.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like the
because
first
that's
month
before
it's
they've
out.
added all the DLC.
Yeah, but there's
the
usually
shit, yeah.
bugs and fucking...
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
but
prefer
they
that.
usually come out
Cold
pretty
War had
polished.
bugs the whole way through, though.
Yeah, that's
Bro, we
true.
just couldn't join each other half the time.
But if you remember what they said, is that they had like 2 years off, and they were like, okay, you've got a year. They usually have 3 years to make the game because it's a different company every time. And this time they were like, have 2 years off and just make the game in the last year. So like Cold War was made in like less than a year.
You can
I
tell.
thought
Cold
Cold
War
War
was
was
alright,
pretty good though.
The gunplay was fun, and the sound
How
design
does
was
the
nuts.
wars? How does the Warzone work though? If you don't have the latest CODs, do you still get the latest stuff?
Yeah, Warzone's free, so it just updates all
It's
the
not
shit.
even related. You can just have it as its own separate thing now.
Right.
And you get all the new, well, I suppose the old guns.
Yeah,
in the
that's
game.
what I mean. Do you have to like get the Vanguard guns in Warzone? Do you
Yeah.
have to own Vanguard?
No, but you
spin it.
to like level them up. You can level them up in Warzone, but if you want to like have the good loadouts, I guess you've either got to sweat it out or play the normal Call of Duty.
Got you.
Don't get me wrong though, they break it every time a new COD comes out, or like whenever they add a new gun, they're like, "We've got to make it strong." Not that strong. Everyone's dead.
Everyone's using
every
it.
time.
Fuck.
LC-11 or whatever. You remember that little submachine gun?
And then they go from
Destroyed
making
everybody.
it like amazingly overpowered to
shit.
just the worst gun on the game. Yeah.
I miss the old days where guns were allowed to be strong.
Yeah.
And everyone used them, and if you wanted a challenge, you'd run around with a Vector like I would.
Exactly.
Oh, the fact
It
is
was
just
weird.
forward.
Like, do you remember like?
Vector.
Well, what I think of is like Modern Warfare 2, where the UMP was just overpowered always,
Yep.
Yeah.
eternally.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe it was just because of the culture of things. I felt like it was less talked about. I feel like things are a lot more perpetual now. I wouldn't say because someone will post.
Yeah,
like
this
a
is
loadout.
the problem. Yeah, there
Yeah.
will be like a new gun will come out, and then some fucking kirked up white boy, like rocking it back, throwing it back sexual style in Fortnite with a sauce, is out there going, "Welcome back, everybody! Brand new video on the LC11 today. Here's my setup, and as you can see, we are dropping people in 0.1 to 0.5 seconds, depending on headshot variation."
Literally, and then a million people copy that.
Yeah.
So then that's all everyone runs with.
Yeah, it's
Whereas
boring.
back in
Literally.
like our day, when we were kids.
So old.
23,
I'm basically dead.
Life's
no,
over
but you know what I
now.
mean? Like, everyone knew like the UMP was overpowered, but I feel like not everyone just ran the UMP because not everybody also watched YouTube who played COD.
Well, not only that, people,
You know, it was still early
like
YouTube
guns.
days.
Like people, I fucking loved using shit guns on the old CODs. I thought it was funny. There's nothing funnier than jumping into a game and popping the M9, which was the weakest sidearm ever.
That's
but
what
it was
makes
still
CSGO great, though.
But it was still doable, and like now the shit guns in COD are just not usable at all.
It's because if you're not running that, everyone's using like the optimal best shit.
Exactly.
Whereas at least in the days when the UMP or whatever was overpowered, there was a bit of it wasn't everyone running the UMP. There was variation in there. Because they weren't all being told by fucking XX Sniper Pro 24 Slayer.
Stop calling me out. Stop it.
Call of Duty review.
Yeah, we should probably
this is
back
album
to the
review.
While
Biffy Clyro opposites.
While we're shitting on COD, though, I will be buying the fuck out of Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I can't
Oh,
wait
hell
for that.
yeah. Because to be fair, they never ruined the Modern Warfare.
Have you heard that there's a...
No, the
I
Modern
still think
Warfare
Modern
one was
Warfare-
great.
Sorry, Aidan, what was that?
I was saying, have you guys seen that there's a leaked torture scene with Price where he circumcises a man?
Is that actually a true thing?
Yeah,
You're
look it
fucking
up.
with me.
Legit. He goes. This is like, there are rules to interrogation. This is 34. If you wanna genuinely see it, type in Captain Price.
You
rule
are
34.
you are
You're
lying.
full of shit. This is not true.
Type it in. Look it up.
I'm tapped it in right now.
Yeah, type it in. Captain Price rule 34.
It says some results may be explicit.
This ain't real.
It's real. Look it up. Honestly,
That's
Joe.
not going to be in the game, though.
Joe, you've seen it, haven't you?
I've genuinely not seen it, but it won't come up because Google is like, nah, this is too much.
Is it some black?
Denver, have you
Oh,
seen
it's fucking porn! For fuck's sake!
How is that a thought?
That's now on my search history.
I don't understand why Google's not letting me search for this. Continues to do it. Porn.
I'm fucking crying.
I've never seen you laugh so much.
You're just like, why is it not letting me? Don't know.
Anyway.
Oh god, Price has got a cock in his ass.
Not again.
Speaking of orgasms, this album provides
Oh.
many for me. That's a terrible. I tried to
Yeah,
work.
that
That was a
something,
nice
but I went-
nice segue.
I thought the album was going to be older than it was.
It's not that old.
I think
No.
no.
This is when I got into them, though. Like, I didn't really know. Obviously, they'd released the album before this, the one with the flag. That's probably their most famous one. What's it called? Only Revolution.
I was
White
about to say,
Power.
isn't I thought this was their most famous album.
No, like Only Revolutions was the most famous one because that had Many of Horror, the one that Matt Cardle did on X Factor, and that's how everyone knows it. Annoyingly, and Bubbles and Mountains, but this one was after that, straight after that, and for me that's kind of why I heard it first because that's the one that came out at that time and blah. I'm trying to think why I even picked this album. This album has always been up there with arguably my favourite album of all time. It shaped a lot of the stuff that I like now and was one of the first that I heard when it came out. In terms of if it's followed, what's the word when it stays relevant and not necessarily stays relevant, but
Don't know, but Biffy wouldn't know it if it wasn't a word.
but
Just stay
does it?
relevant.
No, if something goes with it ages well. That's the right way of saying it. I think it ages very well. I think the production is great on it, considering I know it's 2013, it's not super old, but it's still very good.
Oh yeah, I thought the album was old, but that was only because not because of how it sounded, just because of how you said it was like your favorite album stories. I just thought it was like a mid 2000s,
No.
kind of like the same age as like Green Day or something.
This is it. Like, so that what's that? It was 9 years ago. So I would have been, 14. So
14.
it was like perfect time for me enjoying this kind of music. Really.
Same year Last of Us came out. I'd argue Last of Us had better production.
It was a great year. It was a great year.
He's not wrong. Last of Us did have better production.
Oh God,
Yeah, a lot
it's
more
completely
people
irrelevant.
working on it.
It's so irrelevant.
I'm just thinking, but he's not wrong.
But equally,
They had a bigger team.
equally Biffy
artists.
Clyro didn't break their album on day one of release.
No, and they didn't get 50 10 out of 10 awards. So
I mean,
They
it's
didn't
not the,
get the
it's
Game
not
of the
the
Year
same
award.
awards.
They didn't
no,
get the Game of the
but if
Year
it was, it wouldn't get it.
But if this was a game, which it isn't, but if it was, it would.
This album didn't get an Oscar, therefore it's shit.
And also,
Did
Where's the BAFTAs?
did they make a sequel to this album that got even more awards than the first one?
but was very controversial.
Well, kind of. They did opposites, and then they did similarities, which just wasn't half as good. But
They did similar.
But the critics thought
Yeah.
it was better.
they did opposites. Similarities just wasn't as good. But in my opinion,
Imagine being so pretentious.
there's no hits on that album really.
Just imagine it.
How was that pretentious?
The audacity of this bitch.
That's just
The
actually.
lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch.
But they've done a lot of
Yeah.
albums. There's actually quite a few in between Only Revolutions and Opposites.
I tell you what, I've never seen a band like thingy out this many albums. Like they really churn them out, don't they?
They do every like 2 years usually.
Yeah.
They don't
For
have
that-
to be.
for-
They don't have to be good, do they? It's like,
For
They
the
are good
modern
though, so that's why it's
bands,
impressive.
then yes. But like remember when we spoke about when we reviewed Hall & Oates, how like for about 14 years they released an album every year. Like back in like the 60s and 70s.
Back then they'd throw any shit out there, wouldn't
The thing is, though, production was a lot easier back then because there wasn't much to it. It was just record
There
the
was a-
songs,
there was lit-
put
yeah,
the
there was
levels
little
there,
bit to do.
done. You know what I mean? Whereas now there's a
If
lot
you
more
only-
that goes into production.
Record labels were probably a lot less demanding on certain things.
Well, because let's say we spoke about it before, but
Maybe. I don't
ah,
know.
can we smoke in the studio? Yeah, of course, Jimmy.
pump out them tracks.
Yeah, have a whiskey. Your wife's in the back? Don't worry, I'll slap her for you.
Because like I feel like now you hear artists talk about it all the time, where they're like, "Oh, I've made like 50, 100 songs and I put out 10 of them." Whereas back in those days, they put out everything they made.
Yeah, that's true.
It was like, we've got 10 new songs, bang, let's make an album. And they only had to have like 1 or 2 half decent songs that they could sell as a
And people
they could
buy
put
the
on
whole
radio.
record
Yeah, because
Yeah.
back then people, that was the only way
to listen.
you would often hear that record.
Yeah.
Like, you would not know half the other songs on that album if you didn't buy the album. Whereas now you have access to all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah, so in terms of when it came out and stuff, it's weird because I listened to this album when it came out and I absolutely loved it, but then kind of didn't listen to them for a while. And then when I was 16, went to Leeds Festival and saw them live, and that's when it all like came about. But I'd say what I remember about this album most is before this album came out, I was solely just like pop punk and all that kind of stuff, and this kind of segued me into so many like other stuff, like indie stuff from this, and kind of just I think it helped, even though it's not. I don't really know what it is. Is it indie?
Would you say
I'd say it's
it
more
helped
rock, isn't it?
broaden,
It's like a mix
broaden
of
your knowledge of music?
no. I just
It's gonna
it
have
made
a
me more
different intro
open.
on it.
Maybe more open to want to listen to other things.
No, it's not. I've got the original.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean we can slap on. We're changing it, man. This is it now.
And this,
Album
this
review,
is,
baby. We're time to album. Get ready to review.
Well,
Yeah.
the genre.
Gunshots.
Really like accurate gunshots, like you, and then like knocking at a door, and then like someone like, "Jimmy, it's me! Open the door!" Album
Not
review.
who's there. It's album review.
So to answer your question about what genre is it, Will?
Awful.
It's basically rock. So like the closest to indie is indie rock.
It's kind of
It's one of the
experimental
things,
rock, though, isn't it? It's quite
pop rock,
all over the
alternative
place.
Yeah.
rock.
Alternative rock.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there's a bit of everything. I think like it's. I don't know. There's so many
It's
fucking
also-
songs on it. It's got to have
for-
a bit of everything.
It's fucking under the category of emo somehow. Progressive metal,
They must have had the same,
Yeah.
a similar fan base.
grunge.
It's like
But to
slightly
be
more poppy.
to be fair, I can see you got kind of all those elements like it very subtly hinted in the songs, if that makes sense. Like all you can tell they're very inspired by a lot of different genres, and they kind of mash it up into their own
Oh yeah,
sound.
it's
you know?
This is the thing, right? This I've kind of thrown all my eggs in one basket. Is that the phrase? Is that the phrase? Don't laugh.
That
At
is-
it. It was
no,
very
that is
close.
the-
It was
no,
very
you
close
gotta-
to not being the phrase.
Not
but it
being.
was the
Throw-
phrase.
Throwing all my eggs in Rome.
Throwing all my eggs in Rome. Because this is my
was
favorite.
built.
This is peak Biffy for me. And maybe you'd prefer the Only Revolutions, but I don't think this is much different to this. They're very similar sounding albums. But so if you don't like this, then I fully accept you just don't like Biffy. But
Is this the first Biffy album you've picked? There's been so many albums.
no, I picked.
No, there has been another
I picked the not the latest one, but the
The
one before
celebration of
that,
ending.
and that obviously that's the one that you didn't. Well, Aidan
I'm
definitely.
trying to
didn't
look for it
enjoy
now, but I can't remember how long ago it was.
But
It wasn't
obviously,
that long ago.
the newer stuff isn't considered as good, even though I still like it. Whereas this is like the classic that's got all the hits that everyone knows and stuff. So if you don't like this, I fully accept it begrudgingly. But it's this is just the best in my eyes. In terms of how it's structured, I'm not entirely sure why it's 2 discs. I can't really remember. It's not a deluxe. Well, it is a deluxe, but it's
It
even
doesn't-
without the deluxe, it had all these songs. I think.
It's
It
just the
doesn't-
whole classic 2-side thing.
It doesn't even come up as 2 discs on my Spotify. So
Does it not?
No.
no.
But it is.
It does on mine.
Yeah, it doesn't mine. Are you? Oh no.
Oh, is
Listen,
this?
no.
I definitely have listened to the right album. Don't
Oh,
worry.
no.
But like, it
Yeah, but
does
it's
not come up as 2 discs.
211. There should be 22 songs.
Let me have a look. There is 22 songs.
Okay, that's fine. Obviously, there's the instrumentals, which I actually thought weren't terrible, and they kind of break up the album a bit, and they're not too just out there or weird.
It does have 2 discs.
Which Aidan might argue is pretentious, but
The fact that they even put it on 2 fucking discs is pretentious. Arseholes.
yeah, but you couldn't back
Why
then. You
make a
couldn't
22 like fucking song shit? Like
but
you've confused me.
back then. I
Why
don't
even
think
make
they
it?
could have that many songs on one disc. Is that right?
Yeah, that was still. Do you think 2013 was still the end of CDs? Was
Yeah, I don't think you could have that many songs on 2 discs, so they kind of. I guess that's why they did it. But
Yeah, that's definitely the reason. Why didn't they just make 2 albums?
I would argue as well, both discs are as strong as each other. Like they've both equally got great songs. I don't think there's a massive drop off. I feel like they could be albums on their own, just the 11 on each side.
No, I think the second is worse than the first.
I think the second's better than the first.
So this
Actually,
is
I think the first disc has stronger songs, but fewer of them, and the second disc has a more consistently good song base.
Isn't it weird? I would say almost the exact opposite.
Really?
So that proves
I
my
would say
point
the same.
that they're both
I would
great.
say the same things for the opposite. So you can say
Oh
that,
yeah,
maybe-
I'm pulling out my trap card. I hated both. Blue Eyes White Dragon. Fuck you.
I'm just saying, the cards aligned until it worked.
Well, you fool.
I think generally, like the lyrics on some songs are very confusing. On others, they actually make sense and are very good, especially like on biblical and stuff like that.
Glad that you brought that up.
Because I know you're gonna say shit about the lyrics. I get that some stuff is like, what the fuck's he talking about? But to me, the songs, I will understand that. I have no qualms with that. I haven't got a fucking clue what he's talking about half the time. But it's still like, for me, I just love the way it sounds, and it doesn't take it away from that. and it has got some very well written songs that I think kind of break that up anyway. The thing I love about Biffy, and I think this album entire, is how big they make their songs, and it was like the first introduction in music that I'd had that of like that big how did you like? I want to say on song.
Big is definitely the
grand,
way to...
grand,
Yeah,
like
big
in
is
Stinging
definitely the way to
Bell,
describe it.
how they add the whole Scottish thing, which is it like? I think
Is that the song that has the pipes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, like it's really
that was
cool how
cool.
they made
Yeah.
it work and biblical. Yeah, there's so many like build-up songs in this, and I guess at that time I hadn't really heard that much. While there probably was stuff, I'd never heard that, and it kind of segued me into that and liking that kind of stuff. I think a lot of the stuff without singing could be soundtracks for like films and stuff. Maybe.
I was thinking that. I was genuinely thinking that in the Thor.
Yeah,
I was
especially
listening
in
to like the
Thor.
end of the
Soundtrack
Thor,
stuff.
and I was like, this could be like, you know, what those TikToks you see, where
Yeah.
like there's just like really emotional music going on for no reason. I was thinking like that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think some stuff has actually been used in that.
I was going to say, I think it.
And they've actually, well, since then, they have done soundtracks for films. So it's it makes sense. And yeah, I just think the album's great. I understand if people don't like it because it's his voice, but I don't think it's as strong as in the new albums. I feel like this is a lot more listenable for people who necessarily don't like his accent as much, being like super present. Maybe some songs it's very present, but not all, like the newer albums. Anyway, worse for me, I would say, I've fucking written it down and I've lost it now. Would be Skylight, mainly just because I feel like it's the most nothing song. And every other song, it was between that and The Fog, but then I thought The Fog just sounded like, what was it, The Thor? It might have been The Thor. I can't remember which one. It's one of those. But
You liked the Thor because you put it on once when we were driving, and you were like, "This song's amazing."
Oh no, I like The
And
Fog.
then I jumped out.
It's The Fog.
of the
It's The
car.
Fog.
If
Sorry.
you remember, I hit the road at 60 miles per hour,
No, you liked
which is
it
why
too.
I look
remember?
like this. I did. We're changing history. Yeah, I seem to remember you crashed into an orphanage that trip as well.
It's weird.
Well,
how it
we're just making up lies. Prick.
The Fog is the one that it was close to being the worst as well. I thought The Fog sounded very soundtracky and was very well written, whereas I thought Skylight was kind of just a bit like, it's like the only bit that I feel like it drops off on the entire album. Personally,
Would you say that the Fog missed?
yes.
I like that.
There's another thing. I never think, while there's some maybe weaker songs, because there's a lot of big, grand songs that are quite well done, I don't think it ever drops off in quality. Like, there's still good songs. They're still well written. To me, it never feels samey, but I can guess, I would understand if other people would think that, because there's a lot of songs and it's the same. I don't know. Maybe you found it too long and it made it samey for you. To me, I don't get it. It isn't that, but maybe that's because I've listened to it a million times. But no, it never drops off for me. It's very hard to pick a top three, but I feel like the top two were like solid for me, and then it was like super difficult to pick a third because I think there's loads of just great songs that could have gone in there. But I went with Accident Without Emergency because I think it just builds up. Again, because it's massive, and it builds up loads, and it just sounds great. And I love it. And again, when you think it would drop off at the end of the album, it just doesn't. So it's just always something to be looking forward to.
That'd be
For
a
me.
good autobiography title for me.
Never dropping off.
No, the other thing. Accident but not emergency.
Accident Without Emergency. I like it. But no, it just builds up like everything else, and it's super well done. And it's a very long song, but doesn't feel long. Like no song ever felt too long for me. Maybe Aidan disagrees, but for
I was
me,
going to say, that was one example that felt long
Felt
to
too
me.
long, yeah.
I feel like it's its own artistic.
I
thing.
felt
It
like
makes
that-
sense why it was that long though.
That was a song that I felt would have like benefited from
From
being
being-
like
okay.
a minute shorter.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I understand that I am very biased because I love this so much. But
That song I really liked, right? But that song would have gone from a song that I liked to a song I thought was great if it was a minute shorter.
Right, okay. It's interesting. But it's third for me. Second, maybe controversial. Maybe. I'm gonna do a Joe here. Because I feel like a lot of people might put it as their first. But second for me was Black Chandelier. I think it's the most listened to on the entire album. Yes, it is. It's obviously fantastic. I think it's the one that got this I think it was a single. But this is like the first Biffy song I ever heard.
Same.
That made me want to listen to them. Very unique. Great music video. All this relevant, but it is great, and it's just fantastic, and very different to any. But like I say, it's different to anything I'd ever heard, and just I don't know what else to say about it. Really, I don't really understand what he's saying in it, but
it's a black chandelier.
Thanks for clarifying, Devin. That's great.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
But
No, it's funny when you said about the lyrics earlier, right? In none of the songs did I take in what he was saying. I was just sort of going off the vibe.
Yeah.
That was the only song where I'm like, a black chandelier.
right, fair enough.
He's going off the vibe. He just sits there like, he's got a pen in his mouth. Scottish.
I'm just going off the feel, you know. Some of us are just
Feels.
different people.
Scottish.
But number one.
Feels
for
poor. Peasant.
Number one for me, which makes me sound super fucking generic because it's just the two most popular songs. But number one for me is Biblical, and I think
I thought it would be.
it's just the perfect, like, to me that song just is Biffy. It's like, but that's again has great lyrics as well. I feel like that could fit into the charts even now because it just fits well, and it's just the best for me. Like the grandness of it makes more sense. I guess it's not as long, so it's not too long for people to get into. It's very well produced, very well written. It's just fantastic. Again, I just feel like the album is so solid, and it has one tiny drop off. The entire thing, and other than that, I don't know. I just loved it.
That is a slam
I
dunk.
love it, and it has a massive place in my heart for liking music in general, and I think it's their best ever. Personally, please.
I thought Biblical would be your favourite, considering before you'd even really started your review, you mentioned it twice.
Did I?
Yeah, as examples for why you like this album. You mentioned
Because that that song has everything in it that I like about this album.
Oh, I think it's a great song.
It's just why it kind of, I don't know.
Love
I guess
love the psychology on that.
it's the perfect, like,
You mentioned it twice.
if you was like, right, you've got to pick one song of this album that represents like what this album's going to be like, I'd pick that.
Oh.
Could you do that for a lot of albums, or would that just like could you do that for Macari? What would you pick and be like, yeah, this? if
Well,
you
they
wanna
were all
listen
the
to this
same.
album-
So
Better.
Oh yeah, you could have picked any song
Any of
then.
not better, because that's not a representation of the rest of the album at all.
No.
No, but it's a representation of what I like about Macari.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it doesn't represent what the album's going to be like.
Whereas like this,
Well,
I feel.
sorry, Joe, you don't represent
Just
what
do
most people
That
look
wasn't
like, do
the
you?
fucking
Most
question,
people
did it,
don't
was it?
have when I think of, what do people look like? I don't go, see-through teeth. Stupid prick.
Clearly, you should listen to the fucking question in future.
I don't
That's
listen.
that's my review anyway. And my rating is no.
Oh.
It's going to drop at least a 9.
Please be nice.
No.
Well, he gave the last one a 9.5, so if he doesn't give this a 10,
No, it's a
not
10.
his favourite.
There's no way. It's got to be a 10.
Check.
Is it me?
I've got to counter that. Put mine down.
Rain is coming.
Is a 1, please?
Fuck off. You don't hate it that much.
So, this is probably the best sounding Biffy I have ever heard.
Okay.
Yet it somehow still managed to be shit.
Ooh.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
That's
I was so depressed then because you've been so hype about everything I've said so far. And you just made it sound so. I was like devastated.
No, I've never got on with his voice, and this is probably the album where I've managed to kind of like it. Like the first listen and a half, I was still like, I just don't know whether I like his voice, and then I think it just finally clicked, and I was like, yeah, this is all right. But the album never really veered from all right to me. Like it was, I never got the Biffy craving, you know. I never thought I want to listen to this. Okay. I enjoyed 70% of it, but I was like, never was like, yeah, I love it. You know how I usually in the car, you show me a new song and I go, oh, whoa, like that. I never got, I never got that.
That's fair.
With this, but I did love like the word you said earlier, which I'm gonna use how big it sounded.
Grand.
How grand it sounded. How epic it sounded sometimes. Like, and I get the feeling that and I'm sure Will will probably confirm this. I get the feeling these guys would be amazing to see live. Like, I feel like seeing them live, I would love them.
Well, I don't want to say that.
I've seen them.
Connoisseur,
I've seen them like 20 times live.
We need to go see him live just so you can.
I would honestly.
Who's we? Because I'll pass.
I would honestly love to see him live because I feel like seeing him live would make me love him, and I know that's such a cliche thing to say, but I feel like that would just push me over the edge. But I don't know because their music's different now, and I know for a fact I don't like their new music. But then again, now I've listened to this, going back to it, will I like it more? I don't know. I might give it a go and see how it sounds. But I thought like the guitars sounded amazing, like especially when it all just got going and like the rocky stuff comes in. There was also some like breakdowns in there that was really cool, and there were some really interesting little bits like the riffs. Like the actual, you know, when it's kind of all kind of stripped down and they're doing all these twiddly bits on the guitar, and that was like the main melody. There was awesome. I really, really liked that. I think a good example of like interesting things they did was in Trumpet or Tap when he started doing these flickity-doo, flickity-doo with his voices. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He did that kind of Jack Black kind of flickity-doo type of thing. There's arpeggios with his voice. I thought they just.
The song that's in.
I think it's in the second verse.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
There is that one. No, I can't.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyway, so I just like how like with the pipes as well in Stinging Bell they added kind of the culture with the pipes and stuff, and not really afraid to just be them. They didn't want to just be another rock band. They wanted to bring their own kind of twist to it, which is really cool.
You can see why they're very liked in Scotland because they
Yeah,
very much
definitely.
go to their.
Because they're like one
And
of three bands to come out of that.
Every time you like go to a Biffy concert, there's just Scottish flags everywhere.
So they're more Twin Atlantic. Those are your only choices.
I
Why
can.
didn't they flip the switch on the generator?
I think the biggest thing that puts me off with this band is his voice. And I think that's such a shame. Even though I kind of started to like it more, it was still kind of the breaking point. Like, if you put another singer over these songs, I'd probably think it's great.
Well, you'd also be able to understand them.
That's true. I don't think it was, like, understanding him as much. It was, like, for me, it was more, like, actually, like, what's he talking about?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's like he could say something, but you'd be like, yeah, okay, they are lyrics, but
They're just
my
words
umbrella,
put together.
My umbrella is wet. Leave it in my shoe. Brownies on the table. 9/11, me and you.
Are you actually singing one of their songs right now, or?
I don't know.
9/11, me and you.
That's literally all of it, isn't it?
I love it.
They could say, brick wall, sister. And Biffy fans will be like,
Yeah!
yeah!
The Scottish people!
And they're
It's
waving
a
the flag
culture.
in the crowd.
It's a
They're
culture.
waving the flag. Chandelier, brick wall, gravy shit.
It makes more sense than you're making out.
Amber leaf Asian man.
My least favourite song was The Fog. And really annoyed me. Because I remember listening to it for the first time. And I'm thinking, this is going to build up. I can't wait to hear...
Which song was this, sorry?
The Fog. And I was like, this is going to build up. And I can't wait to hear this, but bigger. In the true Biffy fashion that they've showed us that they do. And then it ended up just being fucking noise. Literally just screeching horrible noise by the end of it. And like, it was just awful.
It feels like an interlude more than it.
It was my least favourite song. It was my least favourite song, not because it was the worst sounding, even though like the end was awful. It was because of like how disappointed I felt when it was just like quiet and then just noise rather than like just a nice build, which I thought it was going to do. You know me, I love my builds. I love my little emotional crescendos at the end. But that never happened.
You say that, I feel like you like just noise usually.
You know, from the metal lover thing, you'd think I'd like this song.
Yeah.
But I didn't. So it's just disappointing.
Just as an example, for these lyrics, I just looked into some of the lyrics, and I see what you mean, because like for the song "The Joke of Us," there's a line where one line says, "Let's create our own fire. Rainbows in the shape of a girl." Like just two completely unrelated things.
Right, so if you're on a
And
lyric
then-
page, does it explain what they mean?
And then it says, "Take whatever you want from us." What are you staring at?
Just suddenly turns really aggressive.
That is right. POV, you're a Skyrim NPC. Take whatever you want. What are you staring at? Get out of my house.
Are you on noisy? Because it might explain what it's supposed to mean.
I'm on Genius. It explains
Genius,
some of them.
yeah, that's it.
Like sometimes two lines do follow each other,
Yeah, sometimes they do.
but
water's wet on ground.
it's like, what's that sound? It's the sound of the truth in us,
Okay, cool.
reaching highs that we won't in the future. See, those kind of blow it away. More so
Reaching
than
highs that we won't.
what are you staring at?
He's just talking nonsense the entire time, isn't he?
Not
Well,
all the time. A lot of the songs
was-
do have very nice
What's his
things.
name?
Simon
Mr.
Neil.
Biffy.
Sam
Biffy.
Neill.
Simon Neil.
Mr.
Simon Neill. Because he had that bit in the Architect song, didn't he? And I remember thinking, what's he talking about? What was he talking about? Oh yeah, it was.
What annoys me is you know that he's...
Long live the
he's a
king,
creative
not
genius.
listening. No time for rats in the gutter. Snakes coiling, but we're signalling. Screaming. Just
Maybe
means
we just
nothing.
don't understand the
No,
depth.
this is the problem. He thinks he's a genius. He's a fucking
No,
idiot.
he doesn't.
He's just some Scottish
He's
cracker.
actually a very insecure, lovely boy.
Okay, man.
I would be insecure if I was writing lyrics like that. I think I was dyslexic. How do you think he writes them? Do you reckon he takes a pair of fucking scissors to a dictionary and just starts cutting out random words?
Just puts them together on a whiteboard.
Yeah. Chucks a book in a fucking wood chipper and see what
What
comes
we
out.
should call this fucking podcast as a brutally honest album review, because fuck me, like we could not be on those podcasts as it gets an artist on to talk, could we? So what
no,
the
we're
fuck
too
does this
brutal.
mean? You can't.
we destroy people. You remember when you told what were they? The Bloodline. I can't remember the band, but it's an awful metal band, and you were like,
Oh,
"Fucking
the
quit!"
alien one.
You said,
Oh,
"Quit,
God.
quit, and just fucking get a job."
Yeah, I And I put it as the
Real
title
job.
of the YouTube video.
Get a real job.
That's probably why that
Just
guy was so
solidify it.
angry at us. We brought him
But,
up
like,
like 3 album
that-
reviews in a row.
That's why I don't understand. Because you remember that guy commented on our channel and
Oh,
he
he
wanted
was
us to review.
fucking livid.
No, it was the guy
Oh,
who
yeah,
wanted
but-
us to review his album, and I was like, "Are you sure? Because we will destroy you."
He don't want that. We should-
Thing is, you get a lot of coverage for commenting on our stuff because we'll speak about it for years.
Yeah, you're the only people that we know. Oh my god, will you shut the... Bitches, honestly. Bitches everywhere. Listen to them. Constantly in my house. This is the kind of poo-tang that we get from album review.
Bitches be slaying.
Bitches be...
Dogs are the best kind of bitch, in fairness.
They're the only kind that I'll stroke. Will's like, he's never touched a vagina. It's like, fuck off, Will.
No, it was a good joke.
No, yeah, sorry, yeah, I love it. Great joke.
My third favorite was the Thor. Because as mentioned before, I like my emotional build-ups, and this song sounded very epic, very, very, very big.
Is it because you just were reminded of Chris Hemsworth and thought, that's a bit of me?
The Thor.
The Thor, I do like Thor. Just an epic sounding song. But I feel like my third favorite could be replaced by a couple of other songs. There's some other ones that I liked. I really liked Stinging Bell, but I felt like the instrumental at the end was a bit too long. I feel like there were some songs that started really well, and I was like, "Oh, this might sound good," and then it kind of just veered from whatever it was doing. Like the Spanish radio one, I was like, "Oh, this sounds interesting," and then it didn't.
Sometimes
and
they
then
would
just
have
forgot it,
They would have elements of experimentation and then just go back to default.
and then just drop it. Yeah. I feel like they could have just stuck with it and done
We
something.
can't go
really
too
interesting.
crazy, though.
No.
No, but it was
I
the
think-
way
I think
it was
that's
the way
part
they
of the
just
problem.
dropped that element completely. You
I
know?
think if you're not a huge fan of what their default is, you won't enjoy a lot of it and you'll just enjoy elements.
That's true.
But it depends what you want from it.
My second favourite was Sounds Like Balloons.
I thought that might be up there.
Fucking the riff is just so catchy. The that
Sure,
that thing.
Oh no, they didn't. Yeah, no, they didn't. Ignore me. Carry on. I was gonna say they put it on the new Guitar Hero, but that was Victory
I
Over
did
the
that.
Sun.
They put that fucking on guitar.
Really nice chorus as well, like a really emotional chorus and
What are the lyrics? to the
and
chorus?
catchy riff. And on and on. That's all I remember.
The land
And then-
on our toes goes
Thank
on
you,
and
Will.
on and on and on.
And as probably expected, my favourite is Black Chandelier. It has that metal element with the little breakdown. Really like the breakdown. The guitars sound massive, nice, distorted, and it's genuinely catchy chorus. I feel like it's the
drip.
drip, and it's like the most like
That
different.
pisses me off so much.
No, I love it
Yeah.
because it gets it's like
No,
gets
it
you
just
into it
reminds me of
straight
Denver,
away.
trying
Oh,
to
what?
make the fucking
What? The
noises.
Drip.
tap. Drip. Drip.
If it
Click.
was Scottish. Drip.
That's
Drip,
interesting as well,
drip.
Joe, because Black Chandelier has is when he kind of speaks the most Scottish in this entire album.
I know, and probably Sounds Like Balloons too. And yeah, so I must like
So
it.
you're just a massive hypocrite then.
Yeah, I think you're just an arsehole.
I think I just
Black
it's a bit-
Chandelier.
It's a bit like it's a bit like you with Don Broco, isn't it? You used to hate Don Broco, now you
Me?
like him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like that. So I might start liking Biffy now, but I just never get the craving for it. But then again, all I get a craving for right now is Home Team. That's all I listen to. So
What I get craved for is curb stomping
Well,
my fucking dog.
If you like
Shut up.
this album, Joe, give Only Revolutions
Oh
a
my
listen.
God.
'Cause that
Okay.
one's very good as well. Those two
What
are the
could you
best.
possibly have to bark about?
I will do that.
But that is actually their most popular
Still
album, so you might like that one even more.
Nice.
Please.
But yeah, no, it was all right. Just didn't get addicted to it.
No?
I'm actually quite happy with that, to be fair. I thought you was going to slate it.
Denver.
Joe.
I just loving the dogs.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know, Phil.
yeah.
I can't. Do you want? Hang on.
No,
No,
it's fine.
No,
don't.
it's fine. I've got this. Shut up! Oh, hey, Ruby. Is that you? No, not you, Bella. You're a bitch. She's coming.
What?
She's coming to the room now. I don't know where she's gone.
Perfect.
She'll be
Well,
quiet.
excited to the album. Generally, I thought it was alright. I feel like the general thing of it is just, it did feel long, but the album does well in terms of, let's say keep you interested, but it does feel like a flowing theme. It doesn't feel like a disjointed mess. And I think that is partly to do with the fact that the bass tone is very similar, with just layered experimental elements on top, and occasionally the experimentalness overflows the bass line Biffy, and sometimes it's really good. And I'd say more times out than not, it did make the song better. But I thought there was a few songs that I really liked, and then everything else was just kind of okay, meh, just sort of in that middle. So it was very backgroundy music to me in that way. I think also, like I say, the length really did hurt the album.
Yeah,
in my
definitely.
opinion. I think if it was just one disc, like one of the sides, just compiled the best ones on that one, it'd probably score like a point higher than I've scored it now.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So on length alone, I'd say it's sort of lost a point. But generally, but there was never anything that I was like, oh, fuck's sake, it's this song again. But I felt that was partly because the album being so long meant it was difficult to hear the album through that many times, really.
Yeah.
Or especially to the point where I'd start to remember what the differences were in the song. I'd be like, oh, is this the song that does this bit? And I'd listen along, then it'd finish. I'd be like, oh, I guess not.
Right.
But yeah, that's sort of really all I had to say about the album. Just
You've not got a lot to say, Denver. So
no,
makes a
well, I feel
fucking
like most
change.
things have been said, but the songs I liked, this partly happens when you're just having so many songs. My top 3 songs, I did really like the top 3 songs, but then when you've got
That's a
I'd say there was 4. I'd say there was 4 really good songs that I really enjoyed. But then they're kind of nullified with everything else past that is just okay, meh.
I think if you can come away from an album that's got 4 very good songs, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and I hadn't.
It is.
I couldn't tell if
How
I'd
many
heard them all
albums do you
before
get
or not.
more than, like... It's very rare you get an album with, like, more than 4 very good songs.
But what is that like percentage wise? It's like
On this album, it's not very high.
no.
But on
it's
a
about
typical
15%.
album... Yeah. But on a typical album, it's...
So in 22 songs, it is literally throwing up shit at a wall.
Yeah, but he only liked 4 songs, but I
Well,
really liked...
hang on, put it in this way, right? A
20.
minimum length of an album is like, what, 7 songs?
Mm.
Thereby, you could get 3 full brand new albums in this one Biffy album. Surely there's more than 4 great songs on 3 albums of another artist.
Yeah, but then that's what he liked.
But equally with these songs, because it never had any song that was below that sort of bad to hated mark. To the point where I feel like some of the other songs, and because I've had this happen with plenty of other music in the past, where if it's suddenly that song has an association with something, it can suddenly go up in how good of a song you see it as. But when you just hear it in this sort of almost blank form, where you just listen to it while virtually doing nothing else, and you've got nothing to associate that song with, it's very just meh. My least favourite song was The Fog.
Yeah.
I just thought it was, with all the meh songs that are on the album, I also thought it was really weird and just didn't like the sound of it that much. And it was the only one that I put in my notes that stood out as being like extra weird or just not quite liking the way it sounded. Because most of the other songs were kind of like, So yeah, The Fog was third. And I was surprised that you two both also said that was not a great one for you.
Yeah, because you usually go with. Normally, it's very different what your.
Yeah, normally it's just some random ass song. So.
Yeah.
And there must have definitely been something about that most of us not liked. Third favourite, Sounds Like Balloons.
Yeah. Great song.
Baboons.
Just great song. In fact, I kind of like all the top 4 that I liked for the same reason. Second was Biblical because of that grandness it has to it. But my favourite was actually Victory Over the Sun.
Really?
Because I just loved the guitar riff in it. Really stood out.
Ben.
It's very nice.
And so that made it stand out.
It is one of those. It is one of those that like you say, that stands out. Like I like that song for the same reason I like Sounds Like Balloons type of thing.
It's a
because
very
of how
similar
catchy that riff is.
Thing.
It is, yeah.
And Biblical just had that go-to brilliant like build to grandness thing. And then the other song, if I could have a fourth, would be Black Chandelier. And I think because that was the one I definitely knew I'd heard before, it kind of was like, it didn't feel as new and fresh. So it comes fourth. But so for the most part, I guess, like we've always said with album review, like just finding like one good song is on an album is kind of a win because it's something new to listen to.
Yeah.
So for that reason, it's good. But then equally, they had 22 shots at getting that.
Yeah. Like you're bound to find something in there.
And like
brand new rule for album review: no albums over 22 songs. Or
But then,
maybe like 14 max.
because it was long, right? Sometimes that can take your attention away from other songs, right? If it was, say, split into these 2 separate albums, would the albums that you thought were a bit weaker stand out a bit more, and would you think you would have liked them a bit more because
maybe
it
I'm
was
pretty
a
sure
shorter?
if this was split into 2 albums, I would have elbowed you in the nose if you picked the other one.
Which is the other one? The second one?
Whichever one it splits to. I don't have a preference on either side. I'm just saying if you picked one and then the other, it would be elbow to nose breaking territory.
Why do you hate it so much? I don't get it.
I don't. I just hate you.
Nice.
It's funny. It's funnier to me. There's more integrity in making you upset than there is actually enjoying an album.
I knew that. I was like, right, Aidan, you've just got to give it a chance. Just give it a chance.
You know, I bit the pillow and slid it in, and I can tell you right now that it was not a pleasant experience.
I don't get
this
why
album
you hate
to me
it so much.
follows.
And then I listened to the album.
This follows the near perfect representation of the last album. Like the last album we had, I thought most of them were meh, apart from I think it was like 2 songs I really liked. And this album is like twice as big, so I like twice as many songs, but I also find twice as many songs as meh. So it just kind of
Cancels itself out.
Yeah, it's like I don't like Biffy anymore for this album, but equally I don't like them any less. I kind of still have the same opinion as they're like, yeah, they're alright. They have a few good songs.
Have you seen them live, ever?
No.
Did they not play at Leeds Fest last time you went?
Not when I was
No, they
there.
went. I was 16 when I went to see it.
Yeah, that was the first year.
They're headlining the next one, aren't they? So that'll be interesting.
Well, the
Sure,
one
they're
coming up-
headlining this year.
No, they're not.
Yeah. Am I thinking about the last one?
I think you're thinking of Download.
Ah, okay.
I think
Ignore me.
We will.
this year is. Oh fuck! Who is it?
Architects.
Mambo number
No,
5.
who's headlining it? Arctic Monkeys.
For fuck's sake.
Which I'm kind of tempted to just go down for that Sunday, because I'm not really bothered about the 2 other days. The 2 other days is like Rage Against the Machine
And Dave.
and Dave, and I don't give a shit about.
But then it's
any of
also
them.
Halsey, Bring Me the Horizon. And
So Bring Me the Horizon, Paramore,
Yeah, but like I've seen
Dua
them.
Lipa.
Although I ain't seen Bring Me the
I'd like to see Dua Lipa.
I've seen Dua Lipa.
Paramore.
But the Sunday has like Arctic Monkeys and a few others that I quite liked. I can't remember who's.
Yeah,
actually-
Paramore's on Saturday. On the Saturday on the main
I
stage.
didn't even know there was still a band.
Yeah. It's not the same guitarist, is it, anymore? Because they left.
Did you not see him perform
but-
with Billie Eilish?
No.
They did Misery Business.
Also,
with Billie
guitarists
Eilish.
are expendable anyway, aren't they? Everyone can play guitar nowadays. They don't bring anything to the group.
I still don't see where it says Paramore. Are they like way down on the list?
Is Joe just lying again?
No!
Well,
Honestly, I'm not. I'm just going to put it in the chat for everyone to see but the viewers.
I could put it in. They're not on the list, Joe.
That's a fake fucking list.
yeah, that doesn't look real.
Is it fake?
Yeah.
Oh
That
shit!
doesn't look real at all.
I'm wrong. Oh, is this Reading? Is this Reading or Leeds? Leeds. Yes. Sunday.
It's the same.
Sunday is. I know. I was getting in the wrong order. Sunday has Arctic Monkeys, Wolf Alice, Jack Harlow, who I actually love at the minute. Bring Me the Horizon. Sigma.
Sigma balls.
Madison Beer. Whereas the other days,
All-time-
not that popular.
All-time low.
Yeah, but
That'd be
seen
interesting.
them. The only
Yeah, I've seen them before.
Saturday to me looks really poor. Friday looks alright. It's got like Bastille,
I hate poor people.
Halsey, Mainskin, Pale Waves.
It's just not a great lineup.
It's not a great lineup. It's a bit shit, to be honest.
I don't know. I think it's a pretty decent lineup.
But the two of the headlines are just trash.
I don't care about the headliners, but
Only person
But
I'd like to
there's
see is Bring Me the
six
Horizon.
headliners.
Why? Who's the other? Why?
Well, they do dual stages now, don't they?
Do they still
So you
doing
got
that?
Rage Against the Machine, Halsey. You got Dave, Megan, Three Stallion. You've got Arctic Monkeys and Bring Me the Horizon.
Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah, they're still a shit
Six
lineup.
headlines.
I'm not a fan.
Not a fan.
So Aidan, unless
Talking about not a fan.
Oh. Sorry, I was just gonna wait till Joe gets off his fucking phone. That's right, little prick.
did you hate it?
The problem is I wrote all this out like the other day, and now I have no idea what I've written. Sometimes going back to my scripts, I've written them like a jumbled mess of just like ink.
Yeah, I don't do scripts because I just can't
A
read
bit-
and do it at the same time.
a bit like the lyrics in these songs.
Oh, definitely. As somebody that doesn't have a job, I would say Biffy Clyro's album felt like a full-time job to listen to. I came out of the first listen visibly aged. After my second listen, I was presumably dead. 22 songs. It's basically 4 hours and 3 minutes of Scottish water torture.
What's
So,
Scottish water
I don't
torture?
get your hatred so much.
It's called. There's another thing, Joe, called Chinese water torture. And it's basically where you're like put under a thing that randomly drips onto.
Oh
your head.
yeah, I thought it was
And-
called Chinese torture. No,
Well, it is. That's
Scottish
what.
torture.
That's
That's the
yeah,
play
but
on words.
Mr.
'cause
Biffy,
they're
it's fine.
Scottish.
Don't worry about it. It's
okay.
every
Sorry,
time.
sorry.
But so to escape this, I went back in time to when I was happier, listening to other albums. But oh no, shock twist! We already did a Biffy album, so even in the past, I'm not safe. But let's do a checklist of things that have remained the same since then. Number 1, in a previous album, I said that Scottish is the least sexy accent. So let's tick that. Yep, check. Big tick on that one.
No, it's very sexy.
I also said that Mr. Biffy also just rambles about nothing, and the songs he writes are about as sane as David Bowie's Drug Fuel Fever Dream. So that's a big check on that one. That's a huge check. That's good. I also said that I don't think I'll ever truly like a Biffy album. Cross?
Oh.
Oh, no, sorry, that's a typo. It's check. It's check. It's check.
Nice. I like
Well,
it.
fuck me, Full House. I hope I never have to refer to the checklist again. But in all seriousness, like it's better than the other album. All right, it genuinely is. And let's talk briefly about the lyrics, shall we? What the fuck is he on about? Like, I'm dead serious. Like, what the actual fuck is he on about? Like, anyway, great production though. All the levels are nice, and the builds are sufficiently builded, big.
Builded.
But seriously, what the fuck is he on about? Lots of chod in this album too. Like, it's like a real shrug and forget it, like any of the crimes that I've witnessed. Like, it's all different, and yet, because I can't relate to any of it on account of what the fuck is he on about, it all just sort of blends together into one, like, big, long, Scottish mess.
Fever dream.
So the worst song for me was The Fog. I'm just so confused. Like, is this Luigi's Mansion with more reverb?
Wait, is that 4 for 4 on The Fog?
No.
No.
Oh no, Will picked something different, didn't he?
He just said that it was.
I said it
nearly
was
as
like
worse, yeah.
between those two. It could have very easily been The Fog, to be honest.
My third favourite is Baboons. Because it sounds like balloons.
Baboons.
Yeah, because it sounds like balloons.
Sounds like
That's
nice.
his third favourite.
Nice. I just got it.
I put, heh, he says fucker. Very big feeling, simple chorus, but effective.
Cool.
Right.
Did you like the
No.
riffage? Okay.
No. Second favourite, one that nobody's brought up and was a bit of a wild card for me, was Woo Woo. I think it's like pretty close to the end.
Is it just because it was really short and it was over?
Well, no, it was a weird start, but like it's one of the only songs that sticks out and has like nice harmonies and stuff in it.
Probably like
It
the
was-
most metal-y song.
It was nearly my favourite, genuinely. But number one was Black Chandelier. It's catchy, probably the only one that I'd listen to again. Overall, what the actual fuck is he fucking on about? Please, somebody tell me.
He's a Scottish man. Do you reckon they wrote them when they were drunk or high or something?
Drugged up, yeah.
Oh. Oh no. What does she see out there?
Okay,
What
I
did you see,
have a
Nicholas?
question.
Tell me, Bella.
Then,
What's outside?
everyone.
What's outside the window?
What would you say your honourable mentions would be if you could?
I don't.
Black Chandelier.
Aidan doesn't.
I would say probably Victory Over the Sun, Stinging Bell, maybe Biblical, but like I know you pretty much all you guys, maybe not Aidan, liked Biblical. The only reason I didn't rate that up there was because like of how fast he talked in the chorus, or how fast he sung in the chorus, and I just didn't catch any of it.
Biblical. I ate a tuna roll. I like.
So
spring-
probably Victory Over the Sun would probably be my most honourable.
Okay.
I don't think Aidan has any.
I don't.
Everybody has mentioned Pocket, but I think that's such a solid song.
Yeah, Pocket was alright.
I thought
It's
Denver
bit
might
forgettable.
like
I
it.
put
Mentioned
okay.
Spaceman.
It was okay, not meh.
In 22 songs, barely anybody's got a fucking honourable mention, Will.
That's fine. You can be wrong, it's fine.
I'm allowed my own opinion.
So am I.
Ratings.
The N word. He's gonna say it. He's gonna say the N word.
9.5.
Oh, yeah,
Another
changed-
9.5.
Changed it in the last second.
The same as the old album.
It's not. It's not
new
a
one.
10.
Joe?
6.5.
6.5.
4.5.
Denver, we are on a level recently.
Could you
I'm on
imagine
a
them
level.
both being fucking Tories? They're on a fucking level. Shut the fuck up.
I mean,
Except
they're
for
good
home
ratings.
team.
So,
Fuck you about home team. Still angry about it.
Yeah, fuck you. Denver.
Fuck you, Denver.
Can't believe you.
That is the worst rating you've ever given of any album.
You couldn't be
That's-
more wrong.
I gave it a 7.5.
I know it's still
It's
rated
too
it
low.
so good.
Criminal.
7.5
This
is
scores
just
27.
27. Is that bang average?
Yeah, it's alright. No, it's just like a
Slightly above a bang average.
yeah, slightly above.
But it's been carried, so.
That's true.
None
It's
of
not
the
a
rest
true
of us thought
rating.
that it could be a 30.
No, definitely not.
I think if the difference between the highest score and the lowest score is like 4 or above, it's been carried.
I think
Sure.
for it to be a 30 for me, I have to have the craving to listen to it. If that makes sense. Like, I want to go back to it, whereas I'll probably never go back to it.
You can't say it's been. I'd understand it if it'd been carried if everyone had put like 4.5, but one person put 4.5. The others put 6.5s, which are very solid scores.
Not been carried that hard, no.
No,
My dog's just gonna jump out the window.
I've only got
Yeah.
3. So I'm
She's
only
going.
3 points above. Like, it would make 3 points difference if I put the same as you two, which isn't that much.
Yeah, but then it's no longer a bowing out, and it's 20. It's quite a big,
It's not that
big
much
mental
of a
difference there.
It's not that.
Wow.
It's not a carry.
What's the next album?
Good question.
Do you know what you're gonna pick?
Aidan.
It's between 3 currently. Give me a second.
I
You'd
know-
say that I would come into these things like primed and
Prepared.
ready, but I never learn.
You know, Sigrid's albums come out, Denver.
I know, I've listened to it a lot.
Is it alright?
There's
I
also
really like it, yeah.
certain band making a comeback.
Oh
Which is
yeah.
really cool.
I know a lot. Of... Next month's Post Malone, so someone please, I beg, please, because the rate we're doing them at the minute, I won't be able to pick. But someone please, I beg, I beg. I am literally, I will pay you to pick the album if I have to.
Jesus, you good one?
It's been 3 years
Yeah, but you'll be on-
since Hollywood's Bleeding. Can you believe that?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Has it been 3 years? No.
Yes.
That's
Well, you think
fucking
album
mad.
reviews nearly 4?
That's mad.
Yeah, it's crazy. Actually.
That is crazy.
That is mad.
So I'm just so excited. And
Then again, we did take a bit.
has anyone, I swear, has anyone listened to that fucking song that I told him that I
No.
showed you? He does it on, oh, fuck's sake. Please.
No,
just-
I clicked on it and saw it was you posting Post Malone stuff again and immediately clicked off it.
It's quite funny.
That's just rude. I always listen to your shit.
I know you do.
Oh shit.
My shit.
You do. I always listen to what people tell me to.
No, not that one time when Joe said
That was one time.
You said,
Oh
said
yeah,
it was great, mate.
you said
It was
oh, yeah,
one
that was
time,
good, mate. I was like, oh, yeah,
Because I was
really?
gonna listen to it like I do everything, and I just didn't get a chance, so I felt bad. So I was like, "Yeah, I've listened to it," and then I was gonna, and then you caught me out
That's a-
before I got a chance to.
I tell you what Will did once, which I found really funny. I sent him a song that I was writing that was 3 minutes long. And I sent him it, and he replied, "That's really good, mate." 30 seconds after I'd fucking sent it. And I was like, it's a 3 minute long song. I was like, you have not
You
listened
just had
to
a
it.
really good intro. I knew
Cheeky-
what was
you
gonna
cheeky fucker.
Alright. This is the album that we're doing. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
The album that we are going to do, because I've thought about picking it for fucking ages, and I guess now is finally the time, is Odyssey by Valiant Hearts.
Holy shit!
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
that is a fucking great album.
Because I was jumping between this, Loveless, or the new He Is We album. And I was like, no one wants to listen to He Is We by me. And the Loveless one is a bit shoddy, but I think this one's a bit stronger. So.
What is it? Beautiful Mind?
No, Odyssey by Valiant Hearts.
Oh, the name of the band isn't Odyssey.
No.
That's why I said Odyssey by Valiant Hearts.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to spell that.
That was a very cool album cover.
It's a great album. I love it.
I like how they're all themed as well.
Oh, is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down from Joe?
Oh,
It's actually a thumbs up today. It's a thumbs up from me.
Yes!
that's fair.
That's all I cared about.
It's what truly matters in album review. The Joe thumbs up seal of approval.
Yeah, that's a good thumbs up.
Joe, do you even have a fact ready?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I forgot we even
Closing
did that.
thoughts,
It's been
Joe?
so long.
yeah, I did. Sorry, say it again.
Got
So
any
anyway,
closing
as I was
thoughts, Joe?
saying-
Did you know that Dwayne the Rock Johnson manager is his ex-wife?